Hey, you guys, this is Christina with Leads and Leverage again. Coming at you, fixing my hair, coming at you with Facebook Live. And if you're watching this in replay, you can go right up here and click on live subscribe. And if you are with me live, I am not driving, someone else is driving. So I'm a passenger, I am moving, but I'm not driving. Someone else is the driver, just so you guys are aware. I'm not crazy. I'm not gonna, but it's gonna be a little bit, I'm trying to get the best view so I don't move you guys around too much. Sorry about that. Okay, so today, the topic that I said on the, I put on the topic, I said, what can we or what should we automate? What works? Maybe what doesn't? Etc. So that's kind of where I wanted to go today with that. And basically my underlying topic is, this is the note I wrote for myself, so don't laugh at me. There's my son in the back. The note that I wrote, and there's Chuck waving at everybody. The note that I wrote for myself is, a lot of agents are out there seeking canned crap and expecting it to work. So there's the non-PC version of what I'm actually talking about today. So I just wanted you guys to be aware of that. I'm sorry, it's going to be bumpy. I will try to set this up so I don't bump this too much. I forgot the stabilizer thing. Sorry about that. Okay, so basically it's about canned stuff. There's a lot of things that we like to do. I know it's really good to automate a lot of things. Hi, Donna. And we want to automate stuff, but we want to be very careful what we automate. So are you photobombing my thing, Dom? Sorry. He's trying to get out of it. So that's my youngest. So when you're looking at what you should automate or what you can automate, you can automate an awful lot. There are all kinds of third-party apps that help you schedule your posts. Donna says hi. Hi, Donna. Hi, Donna. I'm responding to you. There are a lot of third-party apps that you can use to schedule your posts, to schedule all the stuff to your Facebook business page. There are also, so it's a big, huge thing that we're talking about today, big topic. There are also services that you can pay to schedule, to give content to you, what I call canned content. And if you know me and you're part of my membership, I usually say canned crap, but it's not all crap, so we'll just be clear on that. So canned content. There's also services that you can pay for as real estate agents that run Facebook ads for you. Now, a whole lot of this stuff, first of all, let's just start with posting on your Facebook business page. Start with that. And ask me questions. If you guys have questions or you have comments or thoughts, throw it in. I know this is a little bouncy today. I've said this a couple times, but I know this is a little bouncy today. I'm in a car. I am not the driver. I'm the passenger, and the car is moving. So what brought this up was somebody was asking me, can I just have someone else do this all for me? Because as an agent, I'm really busy. And so this stems from a conversation that I had with you guys last week about being too busy, or about outsourcing the wrong things. So they were looking, can I just have someone else do it? And here is the good and bad of that. First of all, if you understand the strategy behind Facebook, and I've talked about the strategy, and I can definitely talk about that again on another call, on another live. But if you understand the strategy, the actual strategy, Facebook's strategy, and how you can leverage their strategy to work to generate leads for you, if you understand that, then you know that you do not want to just plug and play. You do not want to just stick stuff out there or hire somebody to start throwing stuff on your page, because it's not going to work like you hope. So when it comes to using canned stuff, really the statement was, I just want to use canned crap and I want it to work, but it doesn't. So you have to use a combination. First of all, the canned stuff that you use, it needs to be targeted to your audience base. If you're using somebody who's giving you content that's not actually relevant to your audience base, so if your audience base is you mostly work with move up sellers, maybe on their second or third home, then all the first time home buyer stuff is just not going to work for you. Or if you're working with first time home buyers that just, their budgets are tighter and they have a different perspective about things than say someone who's a little bit farther along and has more equity to move up with, then all of the high level architectural stuff or the really expensive home decor stuff that you might be sharing is irrelevant to them. It almost it can be frustrating to them. So you need to be aware of your audience base and usually call that your ideal client, but who your audience base is, so that you know what's going to pressure them in a good way. You never want to pressure them in a bad way. So when you're using stuff, use schedulers. Definitely acquire your stuff that you're going to give to your audience and use a scheduling program. I strongly, emphatically, number one, recommend Meet Edgar. It's Edgar. He is a virtual octopus. And there's no other scheduling program that compares. People try to show comparisons, but there isn't one that compares. This is outsourcing at its finest. You can schedule posts, and then you never, ever, ever have to worry about your content calendar again. Excuse me. And that's Edgar. So you can schedule stuff. That's awesome. That's not necessarily canned stuff. You can get canned stuff. Like I curate content for you guys for FDS members, Facebook Domination Secret members. So that can go in there. But then you put your own stuff in there too. But part of this whole issue is really, it's what's the name of that again? It's Edgar. So it's Meet, MEET, Edgar.com. So Meet, MEET, Edgar, EDGAR.com. It's awesome. You have to get an invite to it because they keep their servers pretty balanced and they only let so many people on at a time. And it's usually anywhere from 24 hours to maybe 3 days to get the invite. It is definitely the most expensive of the schedulers. But if you're an FDS member, I have an in-depth training on it. If you're not, in a summary, you don't have to maintain a content calendar. Like once you put your content into Edgar and you set up your calendar inside of Edgar, sorry about the bumps, guys, going over bridges, then you're done. You don't have to keep revisiting that content. It will repeat it for you. It will always have stuff in there. So it's pretty awesome. So the canned, I always say canned crap, but sometimes it gets a little bit rough. So the canned garbage. So if you want to build relationships with people, and I do not mean BFF relationships, I mean if you want to build know, like, and trust relationships, and you want people to kind of know, like, and trust you before they've called you, you cannot rely on the canned stuff. You have to integrate. You can use some pieces of it for your foundation, but you have to integrate real stuff, local stuff that your audience really likes. And that's really easy. You can go out and acquire it and put it into Edgar, meetedgar.com, and put it into Edgar, and then you don't have to think about that other stuff. You can just add more. Now, also with the canned stuff, a lot of the things that I see, and this is the reason I don't like to do expos and stuff at conferences, is because I don't like most of the products that they're trying to sell to us as real estate agents. I never have, because it never really works. Some of the products have ready-made ads. Either you have two options. Usually what you can get a product that wants to push your listing out as an ad, or you can get a product that just pushes your face out as an ad. And both of those say, one of the things that they say is, like one of them will say, we'll get this out to a guaranteed number of people, which that's not real hard. You can do that super easy because it's part of Facebook ads. But two, neither one of those ways actually work. They just push your listings out. You need to message your listings the right way to the right audience on Facebook, and you need to have the right call to action. It's not just throwing your listing out there. The same with throwing your face out there and the mythological ideal of exposure. That doesn't work the same. So what we're doing is we're throwing our money at these kind of can systems. Sorry, I've got to keep this seatbelt on for safety, but it's also killing my neck. So we have to, and because I put my hand in it to not let it kill my neck, I have a very hard time talking when I can't use my hands. That is a running joke in my family, that I'm very, very physically animated. So constantly doing that. So the issue then is that you're just kind of throwing money with the thought that, oh, that gets me on Facebook. And we completely miss the forest for the trees. Facebook is a fabulous, fabulous way to build relationships, to get to know people, or to allow others to get to know you before you know them, which is what makes it so easily scalable. And if we're just trying to fight for that low-hanging fruit, that stuff, that everybody is in the same space of every single real estate. In fact, Chris Angel says this a lot, and he verbalized it in a way that I just didn't. And that was, everybody's in, all the agents are trying to fight after the exact same tiny little subset of buyers and sellers. And so what I'm trying to help you guys do is, like he says, get upstream, to get to where you can actually hit these people before they're making these choices, so that when they go to make the choices, you're the obvious choice, because they already know, like, and trust you. So it doesn't matter if somebody else's home value or whatever comes across, they're like, no, they're already connected with you. So that is the goal, one of the goals of the strategies on Facebook. So I've been really random. For some reason, it's a little bit hard for me to think when I'm in the car because I'm watching all the stuff. Do you guys have questions so far on this? It's really a matter of, don't keep seeking out ways to outsource everything, especially canned stuff. You need to understand the strategy, Facebook strategy, and then you need to understand how to integrate real estate lead generation strategy on top of that and intermingled with it. And then you can critically analyze and say, oh, that product that you're offering me, that's not actually going to work. So when you know both of those strategies, it's really easy to go, oh, that won't work. Well, that one might. Give me more information. And so when I look at these providers that want to give you the canned stuff, I'm looking for, okay, what do you have that's actually going to work to generate leads, and not just take my money and push my face out there? Because just taking my money and pushing my face out there does not bring in business. You want to actually lead generate. Lead generation is not just throwing stuff out there. That again, it's the mythology of exposure. That does not work well at all. Hi, Dave. Which one's mine? I need water, guys, sorry. I talk so much, I need water. Any other questions on this? So that's why I recommend that you not necessarily use a canned content provider, but definitely use a third-party vendor like meetedgar.com to put your content on your Facebook page or on your Twitter. If you're going to put your same content across multiple platforms, guys, you need to make sure that you cater the message of the content to the platform. So what do I mean by that? The people who are on Facebook do not like to interact the same way while they're on Twitter. The people on Twitter do not like to interact. Well, how's that for pronunciating it? Twitter. The people on Twitter, I did it again, do not like to interact the same way when they're on Instagram. So each platform has its own vibe, if you will. So make sure that if you're going to use like Meet Edgar to put out the same pieces of content to multiple platforms, that you cater that content. So Facebook, they tend to like, people on Facebook like a little bit longer conversations. People on Twitter like it short, sweet, and to the point. People on Instagram, they like pictures and hashtags. So you want to make sure, and it goes deep in that. There's way more to it than that. But that's the general consensus. We tend to just want to push it out everywhere because we're thinking of it like a classified newspaper or billboards, and In this day and age, it's absurd to even run a billboard without a really good call to action. We forget that it's not just throwing stuff out there. Again, I'm talking about this whole exposure, the mythology of exposure. It's not just about the noise. It's not just about what you're throwing out there, which is why the canned content just on your page, just to get engagement, doesn't really, it gets engagement and it might get some conversations, but it doesn't necessarily get people into your email database. And that's where the disconnect lies. The goal, and that's another reason why when people ask me, well, what are some good Facebook pages then that are working? One of the reasons that it's kind of impossible to tell on the surface is because a lot of times, it has nothing to do with how many likes the page has. It doesn't even have it doesn't even necessarily have to do with how much activity the page has. I can tell if a page is generating leads if they have several different aspects set up, several different call to actions set up, and they have a nice funnel flow. Anyway, so I kind of keep going on. So don't use canned content or canned crap, as I call it, just to put noise out there. Make sure it's relevant to your audience. Make sure it's appropriate for the platform, the social media platform that you're doing. And make sure that your goal is to give valuable information, not just trying to create noise. When you're just creating noise, that's irrelevant to you and to your audience. Any other questions, you guys? Any questions? Anything? I have another at least 15 minutes before I get home, so I can keep answering questions for you. Usually takes a few seconds. I'm trying to think of what else I can mention. And remember, your goal isn't just to get noise out. Well, your goal is never to just get noise out there. Noise doesn't help you. But what does help you is building relationships. So if you're sharing valuable information, then that valuable information is going to, it's jabs. It's what Gary Vaynerchuk calls jab, 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 then a right hook. So you want to just keep giving valuable information, but you want to make sure it's relevant again to your audience. So if you are mostly dealing with, hey Jeff, if you are mostly dealing with people who, like I said, if they're second or third move up sellers and buyers, and the content that you're putting out is really meant for first-time homeowners, there's a disconnect. It's not going to resonate. So you want to make sure that the content that you're putting out is relevant to your audience. Don't just go for the canned stuff. Don't just go for the canned ads. Those are even worse because you don't have all the pieces it's set up. Oh, any questions, you guys? Sorry, I was reading and there's not any other questions on there. There's a lot of people on today, but everybody's so quiet. And I know I'm bouncing around. I apologize. I'm in a car. I'm actually stationary at the moment. I am not the driver. I'm the passenger. But it is bumpier than normal, and I usually have this stabilized, and I don't have it stabilized today. We didn't get home in time. So I was trying to get this on for you guys. I'm trying to look and see if there's any other questions that I have that I could actually talk about. That I have one hand to do this. Sorry, guys. Couple things here. I have a question for you guys. Who here worked this weekend? Did you work both days? One day? Who here worked this weekend? I'm looking at more topics. I'm curious. I know there's a lot of you on here, so I know some of you could tell me who worked this weekend. Yeah, Donna, I can't tell you how many sponsored ads I've seen lately in my newsfeed with no call to action. It just takes you to an article with no other type of lead generation. Now, the only thing is, Donna, do they, the article that it's taking you, is it the agent's article? Is it on the agent's website? So that's my first question on there. Could you put it in back because I can't take it? Sorry. Because if they were doing it to targeted traffic, of course, if you're getting it and it's another agent, that's not necessarily targeted. But if they did it to targeted traffic and they're just trying to pixel the traffic, that'd be great. But you aren't their target audience, obviously. So you're right, that's still a little bit off. And the next thing, Donna worked this weekend, had to put a marketing plan together for a listing spot today, a listing appointment today. Sorry, I can't read the tiny print. Okay, let's see. No, it takes you to a third-party article. Okay, so for those of you on the call, so I can explain what this is. Okay, so Donna was saying she's getting sponsored ads in her newsfeed, and this is what is happening. People are paying or boosting posts, paying to boost posts, or paying to push out content. We could do Hutter. Push out content that is not their own. So there's no call to action. There's no way to actually lead generate. And what they're doing is they're probably boosting the post and driving that traffic to a third-party article. So like a Washington Post article or a Realtor.com article or something that they don't own. So they're not even pixeling the traffic. So they're paying money to get this message out to people in their target, and they're messing it up in a couple of ways. One, it's going to realtors, and they're not your target audience, which because Dawn is getting them. And two, they're third-party posts, third-party articles. So when people are clicking on it, if people are clicking on it, they're not even being able to pixel that traffic. And by pixel that traffic, I mean is create an audience so that you can target that traffic with more information later. You can't even do that because it's not your traffic. And if they're not using Snipply, Donna, then they're really not doing that. So they're subscribing to that whole click the boost post button theory just to get engagement, which is the worst piece of advice I've ever heard anybody give. You don't want to do that. So yeah, so that's too bad. Wow, that is too bad. Oh, Cheris was sick. Yeah, you were saying some really bad allergies or something. You guys back there still? I got you back. Just doing it as a post engagement to get... Yeah, Donna says, I'm thinking they're probably just doing it as a post engagement to get likes or comments. Yeah, so likes on the post and comments on the post are absolutely meaningless. There is only one kind of post that you would really want to, as a real estate agent, that you would really want to devote a post engagement type post to. And that would be like my happy birthday one and my Christmas one, the ones that I'm just sending out that I really want my page fans to see and connect with, because it's kind of my gift to them. But the goal is never page likes yeah, that's not good. If your goal is comments, likes, or shares on a boost post, you have the wrong goal. That's the wrong. It's almost pointless because you're subscribing to the mythology of exposure again, and it doesn't work. You need to be more direct and more. You need to be more direct in what you're doing, meaning give good information, but drive them to your page on your site so you can pixel them. Yeah, exactly, Donna. You might as well just flush your money down the toilet if you're doing that. I totally agree. I mean, yes, I know. There are so much better ways and easier ways to do it. Sorry. My hair's like driving me nuts. And I have no idea how many people are watching this, so I'm totally being like, I would normally be if you were sitting right next to me, playing with my hair and bouncing around and whatever. Definitely not a polished video. So definitely understand the strategy. When you just outsource ads or outsource that kind of stuff and you have no concept of the actual strategy, if you think Facebook's here just for you to literally put touches on your business page and to throw out ads, you have no concept of how you can actually build, generate, and scale an awesome lead generation funnel for your real estate business. And that is what is important, because it's through building and scaling an awesome lead generation funnel through Facebook that you will develop know, like, and trust relationships with people you love to work with. And that's where it's all at. So this is a nice long, crazy Facebook Live. Any other questions for anybody? I keep seeing all the signs around here to summarize your boat, because you have to winterize your boats around here. Yeah, spring has sprung, and it's almost summer. I mean, the weather's been gorgeous. Today it's colder than normal, or colder than it was yesterday. But it's so nice because everybody's at the lake or wanting to be at the lake and get their boats out, and nothing's freezing anymore. I love that. I love it. You can't get in the right lane. Sorry. I don't know if you saw that or not. Construction. Any other questions? So Facebook's new lead generation tool is the way to go? No, it's not, actually. It's clunky, and you can't pixel the traffic. It's a great option to try, but you're going to really want to be able to drive traffic to website landing pages, because number one, you can drive the traffic, so you get that immediate traffic, and then you can pixel the traffic when they come to that page, and so then you can get that as a secondary audience that you can run more ads to. And their lead generation ads, or the lead ads, they're called Facebook lead ads. Those lead ads do not let you do that. Not only that, it's pretty clunky. You could use Zapier to connect it if you have the right email program, but you still have a major step that's missing. Part of the biggest, I think that the best value in Facebook ads is when you drive people to a page of like a blog post, cold traffic to a page on a blog post, and you've got something that resonates with them. It's really valuable. It answers a question, solves a problem, and they go there and you pixel them, and then you can run more ads to them. So they're now warmed up. They're warmed up a little bit. And with the Facebook lead ads, you cannot do that. So lead ads are probably much better used after you've already warmed up some traffic. So it's not cold traffic. So maybe lead ads would be better to your page fans, if they're targeted, or to your already visited your website visitors, things like that. Yeah, Donna said, we had a hailstorm here last night. Yeah, it's only 50 something today, but I'm only in a light sweater. It's not that. You're welcome, Derek. It's not that, it's going to warm up. We're going to be up in the 70s for a couple days this week. Here's the thing, Donna. It's probably a lot like you there. It's spring. So we go from 50 to 70 to 50 to 70, and we might even go down to 40 and back up and down. It's just all over the place. It's totally dysfunctional. Yes, and at one point, sometime, it's going to pop up into the 80s and pretty much stay there the entire summer. But that usually is not until sometime towards the end of May, usually mid-June, that happens. So last year was awesome spring and beginning of summer. But because it was such an awesome spring, it was a super fire-filled summer. So this spring, this one's actually turning out much better. It's a lot wetter, which is very nice. So we won't have the fires that we had last year. But it's still gorgeous weather. It's still wonderful. Okay. So I know I've been in and out a couple times. Hopefully you guys are seeing this. I know we're driving, and we're supposed to be in all the different good range areas, but oh yeah, so I'm going down. Oh yeah, the scenery. So let me just flip it, and I'll show you guys. Well, show you guys real quick the scenery. Okay, well now you're getting a big bush of tree. Okay, well that doesn't help you. This is just a road out in the middle of the country, but we've got all the mountains. It's hard to tell how majestic some of those views are from what I'm showing you guys, but then there's houses. See, now I'm like, we'll be over here in just a minute. Some of the other. We're out on the prairie right now, and we are surrounded. So you can see behind me, we're literally in a prairie, and it's all foothills of the Rocky Mountains, especially going that direction. Foothills of the Rocky Mountains is where we are actually located. And once we get out here and you can see more, I'll flip it. On a really clear day, we can see all the way up to Schweitzer. Well, you can't see that today. I don't know if you guys can see that. You just see the truck right now, but you're going to see a whole bunch of cars because we just missed the light. But you can see a little bit of the, here we go. I'll try and get it before the cars. And look at that. It looks like we have a big storm coming in. But it is gorgeous. It's, yeah, lots of mountain views. We love it. It is gorgeous here. Yes, it's not flat like where Myra lives. Any other questions, you guys? Yeah, I like this drive home because I get to see all the mountains. I love that. Where we live, we can see. We're getting close to our house. We can see this mountain up here, kind of unimpeded where we live because we live over here. Love the views. Love the views. So I like this drive. You keep seeing a spinning circle. Yeah, you probably got me back. It's delayed. Okay. Well, if you keep going, leaving. Hi, Mari. I'm just ending. I'm sorry. I was talking about basically using canned stuff and expecting it to work. You can't. You got to understand the strategy to know what to implement. It's automated, etc., and where to do it yourself. I'm going to actually sign off because it was actually pretty short. It just was a really bumpy on this session because I am in a vehicle and I didn't bring a stabilizer stick for the phone. I forgot it. If you have any other questions, you guys, just pop them in the comments. I'll come back and see if I can answer them in future Facebook Lives. I love that you were with me. Thank you. And I will have another one, I think, tomorrow. I'll be posting that up tonight. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.